It sounds so corny. This is a corny thing to say, but I mean, year by year, you overreact to where the program is. I firmly do believe at one point in our life that we'll be playing in a game of this magnitude. And we were texting about it earlier in the chat this week. It will financially ruin me. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, you basically, whatever the price is you're gonna pay it, right?
Agree. Opening up a new credit card. Clark Rulin, great friend of the program. I need a little hokey swag behind me, to be honest. So here's how the setup is going in my tiny Brooklyn apartment right now. I pulled the desk out from the wall and I'm like cornered myself here. The TV's over there. So that's why I'm looking over there. And this is where the diplomas are going to be hung.
There you go.
At some point in the future. We do need some hokey swag. We got an NC State pennant up here. I got an NC State coot. We need some hokey stuff hung up here.
As you know, and who my guest that we're to bring on here, this is obviously not my decoration. Obviously, Juliana has done most of the decorating here. We do have hokey stuff, but it is sparingly sprinkled around the room. I am so excited to introduce our next guest. This is first time on the Sons of Saturday Network, and that is my former roommate. That is wide receiver standout. That is E from Entourage. It is CJ Carroll. CJ, welcome to the show, man. How we doing?
What year was this?
This was 2015. This is our sophomore year.
Okay.
It's the first year we moved off campus.
Okay.
And look, I don't mean to bloat or gloat here. Nobody threw house parties the way 540 Golden Harvest Circle.
We weren't 540. You just
what number were we?
We were 520, but you named our Wi-Fi 540.
That's right. I had it wrong. We had a basketball hoop on the second floor. Mm-hmm. We would play pickup basketball. We would play beer pong with water to stay hydrated. That was something that we used to do. Smart. I mean, it was all time, man. But CJ Carroll, fan favorite, 2015 to 2018, roommate, had the, I can't remember what version of the F-150 it was, but I think I drove your truck more in college than you drove. I had a superhero skill where I would be able to borrow friends' cars more than they did. Mike Santa Maria drove his Jeep into the ground. I had to have logged 5,000 miles in his car, and CJ, I must have logged 2,000 miles in your car. But how we doing, man? What's up with you, dude?
I'm good. Sorry I'm on my phone. It wouldn't work on my computer, but thank you guys for having me. Billy, I can't believe it took me till I'm 30 years old to get on this podcast.
Yeah, it's taken a long time. It has taken way too long. I did text into the group chat today. I'm not sure how many of you listening have like your old roommates in a group chat together, and it's funny. It's the we see each other far too little, but every time we see each other, it's just like we haven't seen each other. It's like we haven't skipped a beat at all, and that's kind of what it's been. So we're gonna have to do that again. But Sam, bring up. So you were going down hokey memory lane. What do you got?
Yo, I actually this morning I was like CJ Carroll going over questions, going over our Google Doc that we have in our outline here that's over to my left. And
I made a Google Doc.
You're on a Google Doc,
dude,
CJ. Congratulations.
You think this is some bang up operation, dude? Yeah, you got a Google Doc.
I didn't know if I was a late sub or something. So,
dude, no, you weren't a late sub, CJ. But I did check in with you 2 or 3 times to make sure that it was front of mind. I mean,
you did.
We've had 1 or 2 too many concussions, and we do forget to show up where we need to be sometimes.
That's
myself
true.
included.
That is true.
But I was like, all right, CJ Carroll highlight. Like, what's the one? It's the Notre Dame play, and I was at that game, freezing my tail off.
Yeah.
It was disgustingly cold. It was disgustingly wet. If you haven't been to Notre Dame Stadium, they don't really have seats. They have like old, somewhat rotten boards from Home Depot down the street that just get logged with water. There's no space anywhere. So you're basically like this, soaking wet, watching the game with a bunch of 40 to 55-year-old Midwesterners. That game was a crazy comeback, and I don't think we talk about it enough because Tech was down 17-0 at one point and came back, and it was just the first drive of the second half, I believe.
Yeah.
We had a really nice play design. We like faked a bubble screen.
Mhm.
CJ with a little stutter hits the slant, gets inside his man. Gerard Evans puts it on a dime, and CJ just goes zoop around the corner. And then, so I remember all that, right? Like I remember the slant taking it. What I don't remember is the little like Hezzy Hay stutter step at the 15-yard line.
When CJ did his Conor McGregor, so anytime that we were out at a party, CJ would pull this out, and he pulled it out at a game. He hit the he just missed out on the arm sway because he would have got that 15-yard. I knew what he was doing.
It was like this close to like, oh, he might just start like dead leg high stepping right here to get the guy. But it worked. It got you another like 10, 15 yards.
It's funny because that entire play, that was obvious. Like that was the best play in my career. I completely blacked out during the entire play. And I just remember like waking up on the sideline and I was like, what just, they're like, oh, everyone's hitting me on the head. I'm like, damn, I must have done something good. But I completely blacked out. I like dove for the pylon, which is, if you knew Fuente and Coach Korn, so that play I got yelled at in film the next day because they're like, we told you not to do this. You know, you could have cost us if you fumbled the ball into the end zone. And I was just like, well, it's funny because that was the highlight of my career. And that was probably when my career also started going the other way. My foot kind of, Cole Pettit always makes the joke that I left my foot on that field that day because ever since then my foot has never been the same. But
hold on, you got to give. I wasn't going to bring it up, but since you're bringing it up, you're underplaying it a little bit. You people don't know, and you got up and you celebrated the play. Honestly, if you were playing now, you could have taken your pants off and you wouldn't have gotten a penalty. But back then they were penalizing people for whatever. But what was the actual injury that you got on that play?
It wasn't, I don't know if it was that exact play, but I had I basically cracked my foot. I had a stress fracture in my foot. But I mean, ever since then, like I think I played 5 or so games on a broken foot, basically. I would get you can never see it, but I would have this like hard cast that I would get put on my foot before every single game. And then it would just be numb. And then after the game, I probably shouldn't say all this, but
you were Jared, bro. When you would come back to the house, it was CJ would be limping around. I had my back issues. I mean, it was kind of like a hospital.
Didn't you have remember you had was it a slip? Remember when we got in like a fight? And you
yes. So CJ and I got in an argument over CJ.
Over trash.
I would park my F-150 in front of the house, and it would make sense for me to take the trash to the garbage. But CJ and I were beefing a little bit, and he kept putting the trash bags in the back of my truck because I would back into where our parking spot was, and he would throw the trash into my truck, expecting me just to run it down when I went there. And, you know, obviously high testosterone environment, everything else. So I get mad at CJ. And you know what, like, it's almost like you both think you're playing around, but then you actually like both reach like, oh, we're actually going to fight each other right now mode.
Yeah, you might as well. You're already there. I
think like I was in between, like, I'm going to give him a noogie and I'm going to actually try to choke him. And then he was like, I'm going to punch him like straight in the face. And we both like went to the ground, and the 300 pounds of me and the 86 pounds of CJ drilled into the sidewalk. And I still have a floating bone of my elbow on this elbow from when that happened. So yes, CJ is responsible for an injury on my body.
Well, I'm sorry, but
no, I mean, I totally had it coming. I mean, it made sense for me to take the trash down, and you know, put in the comments your craziest arguments you got into with your roommates. But I also want to point this out too. So what was fun is you, me, and Isaiah, I think, spent more time arguing over who had a better high school football team. So I went to Paramus Catholic. Isaiah went to IMG. and you went to Good Counsel.
No. Isaiah
So-
went to
Not IMG, IHG or whatever. What was it?
Trinity.
Trinity.
Trinity
Yeah.
Episcopal.
Yeah.
Yes. With and I gotta tell you, man. So you go first. Some of the talented dudes that you went to high school with.
Yeah. Damn. So my 2012, I think it was, year, we had Stephon Diggs, Kendall Fuller, Dorian O'Daniel, Sam Mustipher, who was just playing center for Denver last night when the one center went out. As far as household names, that's kind of it. But we had, I think, that year like 30 guys go Division I.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Stephon and Kendall alone, because Kendall was also a really good offensive player. I mean, we can go. This argument will never end because it will never be able to prove it. But I will die on the hill that we had the best high school football team. And Terrell likes to get in this argument as well.
And Terrell's the only one with the national championship.
What does that mean, though? A national championship?
CJ, I agree because I beat him my senior year. I agree. I don't know what a national championship at high school means. I will say, though, what's very different about the state of Virginia is, and it's hard to explain this to people that aren't from Virginia. I'm glad you're here to help me do it. In the state of Virginia, I think it's cool that the best players go to their local high school. In New Jersey, and I assume the same is for Maryland and the same is for Florida, all of the talent goes to like 5 schools.
Right.
And in New Jersey, that's Paramus Catholic, Don Bosco, St. Joe's, Red Bank Catholic, DePaul, Bergen Catholic. Like all the talent goes there. Same thing with Maryland. Yeah. And some of the best schools that we'd play schools out of the state of New Jersey. My brother played against, we both played Friendship Academy, Gilman High School, it's crazy how the different states are so different. Because in Virginia, it's the local public schools where all the talent goes. So it's just different.
I'm kind of envious of that, to be honest. Because I mean, it gives it more, and I feel like it gives it more of like a Friday Night Lights feel, as opposed to the new age college football. That's what it feels like our high school football was like. And the Virginia public school is kind of how old school college football is like. But actually, I wanted to ask you guys, get your opinion on this. Can I fire off a couple questions?
Of course, dude.
Let's go.
We're just hanging out.
Both of your opinions, I guess I kind of know yours, Billy, but on just like the new age of college football with like the whole NIL era and just the transfer portal, because it seems like it's just like the wild, wild west. I wanted to, what's, I guess, Sam, what's your kind of?
I mean, I think it's on one side. Let's talk like on the field, because my cheers tonight was, this is the best on the field college football like I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
You have the most even teams across the board. Obviously, some are really good, but like there's not much of a difference between team number 8 and team number 38. Like there's really not. I think that's awesome. And I think you have so many guys too who like, hey, I got recruited by Virginia Tech or Virginia or whatever, but I'm kind of going to be a career backup third string, but I still want to play ball. Let me transfer to Richmond or ODU or like whatever, and I can play ball. I think that's awesome. However, I don't like the fact that it feels like a lot of this is being done in a courtroom with lawyers. And I feel like a lot of these players are unfortunately being led astray because like, hey, all 3 of us were 18 to 22-year-old guys. And let me tell you who's really bad at life decision-making. 18 to 22-year-old college guys. They are probably it is probably the worst demographic on planet Earth to be making major life decisions. And unfortunately, with how this like agent thing is, they don't have anybody really looking out for them. And so I hope they can get like some guardrails around this. And I also hope guys are like thinking about their college experience as something more than just a way to make money, because like whether you play football or not, these things will last with you for your entire life. And so if you give up that because you're like chasing a bag somewhere, you're going to look back in 5, 6, 10 years and really regret it because
it almost feels like a semi-pro league because, like you said, the on-field product is great.
It is awesome. Yeah,
It's just like it. I feel like it's lost the, college tradition, college.
yeah.
Like
Here's how I explain it. And my dad, when the transfer portal stuff first opened up, my dad had a very good take, and he said it seems like the sport is trying to repopulate talented quarterbacks across the sport. Because before the transfer portal, you would have teams that would have 3 or 4 quarterbacks who could start for 3 or 4 different teams all on one team, and they would all be playing for LSU, Alabama, or USC or Oklahoma. Now you've diversified where the quarterback talent is, and if you are like an alien and you drop in and you start watching college football, you'd be like, wow, this is so awesome. Like there are so many different teams, so much different chaos. But if you're a fan of a school or a fan of the institution that is college football, it rubs you the wrong way because every year you have to refamiliarize yourself with the roster. You have to listen to all of the offseason stuff. Like I almost wish if you could put your blinders on, and Indiana goes up 10-0 here. If you could put your blinders on and just watch the games on Saturday, Thursday, and Friday, they're still awesome.
right.
But it is a shame. And CJ, like I'll speak for myself as an example, right? Forgettable football career, but my entire identity and my entire like life has very much been crafted by the relationships that I made at Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to have existed in this player empowerment era, first of all, my dad wouldn't have my dad wouldn't have let me transfer. So that's the first thing. And he would have been right because he would have been like, stick it out. But I feel bad for these kids who make a decision because they're like, I want to play, and then they jump around and either don't find a new school or when I see these graphics of like 4, 5, 6 different schools, like people laugh at it, but it is kind of heartbreaking. Like, I think about guys like I think about a guy like Brock Hoffman, or I think about a guy like Michael Brewer, who it was the right decision to transfer. CJ, do you remember when Calvin Klein was going to Texas A&M?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People are making those decisions like at the drop of a hat. You knew Calvin, it broke his heart to leave, but it was the right thing to do.
Right.
And you knew he put a ton of time into thinking about it, and ultimately it was the right move for him. But the fact that you can make that decision on a whim and like you finish a bowl game, like imagine finishing the Belk Bowl, right? And y'all go in the locker room and everybody's talking about where they're going. Oh, I'm visiting Pitt next week. I'm visiting Cal next week. I'm visiting UTSA next week. Like that sucks.
Yeah, it is sad. Like you said, it is super beneficial for some people, but the way it's getting treated, how do kids form relationships by just jumping around each, going to 4 different schools? Because like you said, we, went to school together for 4 years. Like our relationship would have been much different if I knew you for just 6 months and then I took off. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but I mean, like the on-field product is, I will say, like even this game's entertaining. It's fun. Indiana being in the national championship, that could have never happened.
No,
never. So it does give, and it's like a school like us too. Like it gives. We always felt like Alabama, the SEC was the top dogs. Now, if we I think we do have the proper funding, we can kind of become a team like Indiana. I don't know. To
your point, and I'll say this: the transfer portal is much more fun when your team is good. It's much less fun when it's not. Yeah. I am gonna tag in one more here, and CJ, you may not have seen this dude since he was like 14 or 15 years old. But Jackson Mitchell coming to you live from Milton, Florida, dude. What's up, dude? Get the mic out of your mouth. What's good, bro?
I just want to thank you both. I want to thank everybody for having me. This is something I look forward to every year, and I dropped the ball on the Army Navy podcast. I'm sorry, I had work. I had for real work, and I had to go do that. But I get to circle back around in January and start the new year off with a holiday in the Mitchell House, the National Football Championship. And I'm extremely excited to be sharing it with you guys. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Jackson. It is always a blessing and a pleasure.
I got a refill. at some point
dude,
here, so I might.
Go get
Go
you
get
another
after
one.
it.
Well, okay, so heads up, I will have to.
CJ, good to see you.
I will have to
What's up,
crawl
Jackson?
under my desk to get to move. So give me a second. It's a process.
There's a lot going on off camera. So Juliana did just sit down. She is eating that red beans and rice that I did put together. So CJ and Jackson, she does say hello, but she's enjoying the corner of the couch this afternoon. Will not be joining us on camera today. She's rooting for who are you rooting for? Indiana. She's rooting for Indiana. CJ, Jackson, who are we rooting for here?
Indiana. Oh, I'm rooting for a good game.
CJ, rooting for the U. Can you walk me through that?
I'm an ACC guy.
Okay.
I like to root. I know that's kind of lame, but
It's not lame.
the ACC gets a bad rap. So
Mhm.
us winning a national title, I mean, can't hurt Virginia Tech, right? Like,
I agree. I want to ask you this because I get a lot of crap for this. Not being from the state of Virginia. Can you just power rank for me the teams in the ACC that you hate the most? And I won't try to pollute your answer before I just tell you what I'm thinking. But give me like the 3 teams that you hate the most, even like today. They're on the screen. You're rooting against them.
Well, I think Virginia's won,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not because, like you said, I'm not from Virginia. I don't really understand. Like, I wasn't grown up in that rivalry, but even like going out and watching the game, and like there's Virginia, like they are just obnoxious.
They are obnoxious,
and you would, they make you believe that they're superior, and I don't know. I hate Virginia. I guess I don't really like Miami either.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like more of a rivalry too, but I am rooting for them. And then North Carolina,
I'm with you.
But when we were there, they were always decent, and we had some battles with them. Those are the first 3 that come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I think it changes also though. Football, like when I'm watching basketball, I always root against Duke. Like Duke's always good. But I think Carolina, Miami, and then UVA are my top 3.
So I will say, CJ, you did exist in a time where the short white wide receiver was popping. I mean, we had Braxton Berrios. Who did we have? We had Braxton Berrios, and then we also had another wide receiver at UNC. Who was the guy at UNC that wore the bath towel?
Switzer.
That's right. So you existed in the white boy renaissance. Yeah. Jackson, who are your 3 least favorite teams in the ACC?
I can't do that. I'm not gonna participate in that. I will say Southern Methodist. Southern Methodist. I appreciate them as a football program and as a college. Period. I appreciate them as a school, as a program, as a football program, but they did jump ship because my pride and joy, the United States Naval Academy, we're in the American Athletic Conference. Touchdown, Indiana.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jackson, but we just had a fullback dive out of the I formation for the first.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Oh, that is beautiful football.
Jeff's kiss.
That is beautiful football.
You're talking about the Mustangs.
So the Mustangs, they were American. They are still American. I guess they're a college in America, and they were in the American Athletic Conference. And they left. They jumped ship. So therefore, I don't like that. The American was, and still is a powerhouse for football. And
can I say this? I'm not kidding. I'm on record as saying this. I wish, because we're at 19 schools right now. How many teams in the American Conference, Sam, you'd be the perfect one to answer this. How many teams in the American Conference would you add over Stanford or Cal? I can think of at least 3.
I can think of 3.
Geographic, like realistically, or like for football, or like geographically?
Increase the brand of the ACC.
Shit. I mean, on track record, Memphis.
Yes.
It depends. If you wanted to continue the Texas thing, like UTSA, the Tulane Green. Hey, if we want to talk about pompous private schools, all right, Tulane, come on down,
dude. The Tulane SMU rivalry, we could get that thing popping.
Man,
that would be awesome.
more quarter zips than a Peter Millar outlet.
Yep.
Insane. That would be good. The thing too is like, I kind of actually good to ask like you guys actually played travels of these games. I was a nerd. I did not play college football. I did my thesis statement on the cost analytics and cost engineering around college athletics travel. Getting your team and the staff from point A to point B, dealing with academics, dealing with costs, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It is not good. Like financially, it loses millions and millions of dollars every year
CJ, can you imagine that
even
trip?
go to like Stanford? It's crazy.
CJ, what was the craziest? Because I think I know the one you're going to say, but what was the craziest travel back? I didn't travel for this one.
No,
but
I
heard
either.
that the Miami.
I know which one you're talking about. I didn't travel to that one either.
Miami 2017.
Yeah, I didn't play that game.
So apparently, the Miami 2017 game, the team got, where did they get? They get stuck in like Tennessee, and then like they had an awful landing where people were throwing up and like just
and they couldn't land, so they were like flying in the air, and then they landed somewhere. I don't know where. They didn't get back till like 12 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, it was a bad situation. Back to the original question, I think Navy would be an awesome add to the ACC. Yeah. I'm really not trying to. I'm not being a homer, Jackson. I think it is so ultra impressive what Navy has been able to do through multiple coaches without using the transfer portal. Army too. Like both of those teams. Yeah. I have so much respect for their ability to not participate in the NIL situation. And honestly, what happens too, very much like every other Group of 5 school, if there's a baller, like somebody's going to go in and they're going to grab him. I think when you were playing there, Jackson, you lost a middle linebacker to TCU. You lost another player to Ole Miss. So I think both of those teams would be a great add. Memphis would be a great add. Tulane would be a great add. I know it's a dying league. I can think of so many other directions we should have gone before going the Stanford and Cal route. But I will say the Calgorithm ad, I love Cal. I've loved having Cal in our league. They have been fun. So I will say that.
If I may.
Please, you may.
I believe that, and I've said this since the beginning of this college football season, I think late into last college football season, I think the conferences should be regional. Because what CJ was getting at is the travel. We need to remember that we're dealing with student athletes, and I know that NIL has. Well,
are we?
Let me go ahead. NIL has sort of changed the landscape. Correct. These players are making a ton of money, and it's easy for a 18, 19, 20-year-old kid to lose sight of what is the purpose of going to college. That's we all acknowledge that. But if the colleges need to put a kid in a position to succeed after football, I think that is the purpose of college, period. Like if you look at it through my lens, the purpose of college football for me was to get me in a position to where I could succeed after football when it's time to hang up the cleats, right? Now, when you tell me that Stanford is going to have their basketball team and their football team jump on planes every weekend to fly to the East Coast.
Chief, tennis too, all the teams.
Well, that's the thing too.
Well, I'm thinking alligator close to the boat, right?
Wait, alligator close? Okay.
They need to be regional, okay? Yeah. Now, if we want it to be regional, Atlantic Coastal Conference, what teams are on the Atlantic coast? Or at least within a stone's throw of the Atlantic coast? I think Memphis.
Yeah.
I think Navy. I was going to say Navy. You took the words right out of my mouth. And also, here's going to be the deep cut that you guys are going to call me a moron for saying.
I won't call you moron.
Appalachian State.
I don't hate that at all. I like that.
I mean, you could have a pretty sick conference with like give me Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Give me your big programs from there.
Sounds like a great Atlantic.
Let's go.
And somebody chimed in and said East Carolina. Now, I understand that once we start talking about these sort of second-tier programs, and I'm not going to say Navy's a second-tier program. We're top tier. We are the tier that every team wants to be.
I know that there are some people that are on the chat laughing about that, Jackson. Nobody has any leg to stand on talking any trash about Navy. Navy has perennially won 8+ games every single year, and has played Notre Dame closer than probably most schools would. So
on the surface, that is a tall ask, right? I acknowledge that. But if we want to look at it from a purely geographical standpoint, then you need to look at the teams that are in the area, right? I don't know if Tulane should be an ACC team. I don't know if Miami should be an ACC team. Miami,
well, they could not be. I mean,
Miami strikes me as a Big 10, Big 12 team.
Big 10,
not an ACC team. I know they're on the Atlantic coast. I know they are. Right?
They are. They're actually on the coast. They're actually on the. Aren't they on the Gulf of America?
What if?
No, Miami's on the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay,
personally, I think all the conferences there needs to be a massive conference realignment, and they need to make it purely
Appalachian Athletic Conference.
If you want to have
maximum cheese,
if you want to have 4 conferences, you need to have a West Coast conference, you need to have a Gulf Coast conference, an East Coast conference, and a Midwest conference.
Jackson, how do you feel about the Appalachian Athletic Conference? I'm all in. Penn State, Pitt, West Virginia, Virginia Tech, Virginia, UNC. I mean, that would be great. Can you imagine the game day morning hikes that everybody would go on? CJ, I got a question for you. When was the last time you were back at Tech?
I went last year for the Vanderbilt game, but it was the first time I had been back in a long time.
So I do want to issue a public apology. You were in town and Colt was in town, and we didn't get together, and that's on me. I'm gonna own that.
You turn into a celebrity when
no.
Yes, he does.
It's like impossible to get in touch with you.
Okay, so here's what's crazy.
I drink my beers out of the Sharkies cups, and I see your branding everywhere, but I can't get a hold of you.
Billy Ray's location.
CJ, if it makes you feel any better, I probably sent more missed calls Billy Ray's way, and we got the same last name. So don't worry about it. It's like trying to catch a squirrel.
This is so crazy. I'm actually putting myself up on the cross, and you're setting the cross on fire. I'm owning the L here. My bad. Will be better moving forward, Jackson. And I did tell you, as the arbiter of the one who owns the phone plan. Okay, the phone thing has been a problem. We're gonna be better with the phone. CJ, next year, Maryland. I'll just break it right now. We're doing an event for the Maryland game. It's gonna be awesome. We're going to rent out a bar. It's going to be we're going to do very similar to the Vanderbilt game.
That's at Maryland, right?
At Maryland in College Park. So you're going to need to figure out a way to be there for that one. But I will be better with that. I have improvements. I have improvements to make. Jackson, real quick, can you run through the names of your cats?
This is Eddie.
After who?
Eddie Van Halen. And then the other ones are scurrying about. But I got Eddie. I got Dwayne, and I got Mary.
There we go. What about Loretta?
Julia, my wife, Julia, has Loretta.
That's right. CJ, what other questions do you have for the gang here?
I have dream guess. Who's your dream guess?
Ooh, like Hokie related?
Hokie related, and then just give me one Hokie related and then one non-Hokie.
I can go first. I'm going to make this happen. And we're in talks. Morgan Wade. I love her music. She loves Virginia Tech. I'm really excited to make that one, to bring that one to fruition. I've been working on that one for literally about a year. And then I would say Michael Vick. We've interviewed some awesome Virginia Tech people. I would say Michael Vick is one that we haven't gotten yet. And I would say Ryan Williams is another one. Like, nobody's talking to Ryan Williams. I haven't heard anything from Ryan Williams in years. I would love to interview Ryan Williams. So those would be my 3.
I would say from the Hokies, this is kind of not a cop out, but like it's an easy one, but with Tyrod Taylor, just because when I was he was the dude when I was growing up. And I feel like he's also a guy the NFL, like he's had such a substantial NFL career. Every single team he's been on loves him.
Yeah.
And he's done a lot of cool stuff off the field with different charities, different organizations, with, fashion, stuff like that. Like those are usually, from a number standpoint, the interviews that do really well for us and that we look back on and love. Non-Virginia Tech is kind of tough if I'm going to keep it in a football space. Gosh, that's really, really tough. That's really tough. If anybody.
Give me like the biggest statistician analytical guy that you'd love to talk to.
Oh, I mean Bill Connolly.
Yeah.
It's just one of the.
I'd love to do Ken Pomeroy.
Ken Pomeroy, Hokie. Ken
Yeah.
Pom's a Hokie. That kills two birds with one stone. Yep.
I got one for you.
One of the few Hokie and Wyoming Cowboy combination graduates.
That is a wild combo. Go ahead, Jax.
Captain McCarthy, former Secretary of the Army.
I'm making that one happen, and you're joining me with that one. You know that one. That one's in the works. We're gonna make that one happen.
I know. Hey, whoever's listening, they're gonna hold you to it.
I know it.
Ryan McCarthy, former Secretary of the Army.
Yeah,
Josh Pate would be hilarious.
That one's gonna happen.
This chat.
That one's gonna happen. Josh Pate and Adam Brenneman are both on the list. Did he doink it?
Yeah, he doinked it. This kicker's been terrible in the playoffs for them, man. He's been so bad.
Oh my gosh, dude.
What about
it's NSFW, but Joe CJ, do you remember Scott Leffler yelling at Joey Sly when he missed when we were doing the kicks? Dude, that was so funny.
I remember.
Speaking of which, can we pour one? Can we not even pour one out? Can we pour one up? I mean, Coach Lefty, post Virginia Tech career, pretty unbelievable. I mean,
it's one of the toughest places to win in the country. Bowling Green State University.
This guy goes to Bowling Green, balls out. This dude's now coaching. With the Eagles. His post Tech career.
I was listening to Tom Brady on that Spittin' Chicklets podcast a couple days ago.
Yeah.
He gave Leffler a huge shout out.
Hold on. I will say.
How about
obviously
Franklin?
Obviously he was telling the truth. Nobody loved saying that they talked to Tom.
My buddy
more than Scott Leffler, dude. We would go into a meeting and be like, I was texting Tommy. I texted Tommy and he was telling me. Dude, I know so many coaches are so quotable. Coach Leffler is top 3 quotable coach I've ever had in my life.
I have 2 more.
Go, Jax. You can do whatever you want, dude. You're
Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 3 more. Franklin.
Yep.
Which I think is doable.
What is the question?
I'm talking about, you said top 3 podcast guests.
Yes. Franklin's on the list. Yeah, we're going to make that happen. Yeah.
Bud Foster.
I mean, we've had Coach Foster on multiple times. We'll have him on again. Well, you want to be on it?
I'm talking about like a 2-3 hour face-to-face in the same place.
Rogan, 3 hours?
And also Beamer.
So I will say this. One of the highlights of my life, I got to interview Coach Beamer at the University Club. My biggest bummer. So the video quality is awful. The podcast is great. The audio is great. The video quality is awful. That's my only bummer.
Do it again.
I would like to. I would like to do it again.
Billy, who's your favorite interview so far?
Oh, that's so tough. Well, first of all, let me ask you, because I know you are an avid listener. Because anytime I do shout you out, you do let me know, which I appreciate. What has been some of your favorite interviews? Then I'll rattle off some of my favorites. Or some of your favorite episodes. I'll go first.
Well, this is. I mean, I kind of like when. I don't know. Like I love the interviews, but I love when you or whoever is doing the podcast is just chopping it up.
We do love a
then you
BS
get
session.
opinions of instead of like asking questions. I'm hearing like your different opinions on who we got that day.
Yeah.
The coaching carousel when that was going on. Like I really enjoy those podcasts.
For real, CJ, we are going to schedule to do. We got to do like one of my favorite pods was Pete did like a reunion pod where he brought on like 6 or 9 of his friends from college, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But some of my favorites, man, like recently, I mean, Jay Pearson was great. Getting Jay Pearson to come on and talk about like the Franklin search was absolutely fantastic. And then I like go back in time. I very much view like Sons of Saturday kind of like an audible diary of sorts that I have from like so many years. I mean, I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years. Pete's been doing this for as long as I've been alive, basically. I think. How long has it been running, Sam?
This is year 11.
Yeah, I mean the kid, the podcast almost has a driver's license. So
Wait,
I mean,
shit,
some of the ones that I stick out to me was I was so fired up when we got Camille Schreier the year that she was the first ever Miss America back-to-back years. Like that was big time. Like back in the day, I remember getting David Wilson when folks hadn't heard from David Wilson in like forever. I loved interviewing David Wilson, but the biggest one where I'm like, this one was super cool is getting Bruce Arians the week of the Super Bowl was insane. Pat somehow connected with Bruce Arians on LinkedIn. And we thought like it was a fake LinkedIn profile. Like, no way, this is actually Bruce Arians. And we met and he messaged him and he was like, hey, we'd love to interview you like Super Bowl week. And he got back. He was like, sure thing. Like I got 30 minutes on Thursday. So we're sitting in the Zoom room and this is COVID. Like I have a mustache and I'm wearing like a Scully cap and Bruce Arians shows up on the Zoom link and I guess we're interviewing Bruce Arians in Breckenridge, Colorado. That was crazy. Like that was one of the cooler moments. Juliana just hit me with David Wright. That one for me, like, so I was walking into the bathroom in section 3 and I was pretty inebriated and this dude walks by me and I'm like, yo, my word, that's David Wright. And everyone's like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, there's no way that's David Wright. I'm like, I promise I know the best third baseman in Mets history when I see him, and that's David Wright. So I, like a creeper, stand directly outside the bathroom, and I'm like, David Wright is gonna walk through these doors, and he's gonna get a hug from me. And he sure as hell, he walks out of the door, and I'm like, David? Like I'm a 5-year-old. David? He turns around and he goes, yes. I'm like, oh, can I have your email?
Can I have your email?
And to his credit, man, he gave me his email. And that was, man, that meant so much to me because my grandfather, like, he always was like, man, when you grow up, like the same character and the same qualities that David Wright has, I want that in you. And to interview David Wright, man, that was really cool. That was probably. I am 30 minutes from Citi Field by subway.
You come here for a homestand. I don't think my couch is big enough for you. And that's not a comment on you. That's a comment on the size of my couch.
Yeah.
We'll throw you an air mattress and we'll subway over some Mets games. If they host the Guards this year.
I got to tell you, you guys having Roger Sherman. Yes, Sam, I do want to do that. We'll find a way to do that because Jay, have you been to Mets Stadium once? You went for was that Yankee Stadium where we saw this the fireworks? Yankee Stadium for the fireworks. Mm-hmm. I'd love to get her to Citi Field. We got to make that happen this upcoming year. But Roger Sherman was great for you guys. What about you, Pete? What were some of your favorites?
Good. Yes, I mean, Pete and I don't do as many interviews. I really enjoyed one year I had the series. I think it was like 2 seasons ago. I had a series called Behind Enemy Lines. Yeah. And what I did with that is I found people who were psychos like we were for the other team. So I'd find a podcast that covered Purdue and a podcast that covered Miami or like Tulane or whatever. And I would just talk to them about like, what is it like to be a fan of that team? What are your favorite bars to go to? What are your favorite traditions? But to like get to know them. And what was really cool about that is I found people who were just as passionate as we were and like had the same connections with a bunch of different schools, and they had crazy traditions that you would never hear of and cool stories.
Dude, the Purdue
and,
guys.
The Purdue guys were awesome. I mean, the Tulane guys I still talk to today, and like those are ones for me that were really cool because you could feel the passion come through, and it's not like if a guy's a big football player and then does media, like that's kind of, I'm not going to say that's easy, but that's kind of what they're supposed to do. But to see people do this and just kind of do it out of their own passion and their own love for the game, that was really cool. So that's been my favorite interviews I've ever done. We should bring some of those back because we have some, as we get some new teams on the schedule.
Friends of the pod, yeah. Maryland would be fun. I think one of the ones is Turtle Talk or something that Ed and his cousin Jackson. Question for you: need to know. This one's from I think Pete. Need to know who Jackson would want to be the next Indiana Navy not allowed. Also, Sam, what are you drinking? What did you get from the fridge, Sam?
So we're continuing I've been collecting beers that have been like recommended to me, like Horcruxes and Harry Potter. Like I've been going all around. Got this one. This has
oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Wait.
Jackson, who do you want for the next Indiana? Well,
so
Sam
by next Indiana, I take it to be who do you want to be the next team to sort of come out of the woodwork and go to the national championship?
Yes, correct.
Well, I mean, Navy would be the one.
Yes.
The one thing I love about Indiana, and the one thing I love about the media that's covering this playoffs sort of series that we've had, is the fact that everybody seems to be acknowledging that Indiana has no 5 stars, also has no 4 stars. That's my understanding, is they don't have any 5 or 4 stars. But what they do have is a great team culture. And
all right, Kirk Herb Jackson.
They're a team.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think football is the greatest team sport in the world. I don't think there's a better team sport you can name. I know that the World Cup that's coming up will probably have more views in one game than the whole college football playoffs combined. I understand that. But when it comes to team sports, I think football is the quintessential team sport. And Indiana is the pinnacle of a team. That's why they're in the national championship. Now, who do I want to be the next Indiana? I mean, okay, I'll say a service academy. I believe that with the nature of college football and the sort of landscape nowadays, it's very fluid. Rosters are fluid. You can pay players to come to your school, and that's fine. I'm all for players getting paid to do really hard things. But I'm for people getting paid to do hard things, doing the work, earning the money, and then getting to show the work that they've done. The work that they've done on the biggest stage. That's awesome. But when you think about the service academies, is they don't have the ability to do that NIL stuff. None of them are getting paid. Yeah, they are going to have a great life if they choose to. If they lean into it, they will have a great life for the next 15 years. And that's has nothing to do with their football ability. But the football at those schools is I'm biased because I played football at one of those schools. But the kids who play football at these service academies, they are not only doing all of the things that warrant that service academy title, that graduation. They're doing all that, but they're also being a part of a team. They're reliant on a group of 20, 30, 40 guys to take them to that next level. They can't do it themselves, right? And they accept that, right? It's part of the deal when you sign up to play at a service academy. It's part of the deal that you're not going to get paid for this. Transferring is going to be a nightmare, and you're going to go hard.
Yeah.
You're going to play your balls off, and it may work out. You may get to the playoffs, or you might not. You never know. So I would say service academies, number one. Navy, Army, Air Force. Yep. I would love to see them in the playoffs. I think Navy let's say we didn't drop one in the regular season, we had a legitimate shot to be in the playoffs this year, and we could have been the Indiana, Army if they had our
All right,
season.
we can't run through the scenarios. You got to give me another team. Give me like a Big Ten, SEC. Who is your other pick?
I'll pick an SEC team, Vanderbilt.
Okay, great pick.
I know. Everybody's coming at Diego Pavia right now. He was my pick to be the Heisman.
Wait, are you about to do a Diego Pavia? Are you about to do a Diego Pavia defense? I got to tell you,
no,
CJ,
I'm not.
CJ, would I be wrong in assuming? I feel like you loved Diego Pavia, which is okay. I feel like
I do, except when we played against him.
So
Go
ahead.
Sorry, I know this is my first time on a podcast with three people.
Dude, you're good.
I'm sorry to talk over you guys, but I would have picked Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's been the whipping child of the SEC for forever, right? And Diego Pavia, whatever. But it would have been pretty damn cool to see them in this position. Now they obviously didn't make it there, obviously, and that's how it should be.
Which is
you earn your spot to be in the playoffs. You earn your spot to be in the playoffs, and then through the playoffs, you earn your spot to be in the national championship. They didn't.
Right. So, CJ, I don't know if you remember, but I was telling this story for anybody who wasn't at the Vanderbilt Virginia Tech game. I knew that we were in trouble when Diego Pavia ran out before his team during Enter Sandman. And he literally, like, during Enter Sandman, ran down and was shaking his head maniacally, yes.
Yeah.
Like, to the entire – I knew it was a Rappington. I don't think that there's another person who has done more damage to the Virginia Tech logo in 2 years than Diego Pavia. I know at face value that sounds like a pretty, like, hyperbolic statement. I can't name another person who's done more damage in 2 years than Diego Pavia. Can you?
No, I agree. I remember walking out of that game, and I had never seen like
despondent, dude. It felt like every Virginia Tech fan got kicked squarely in the nuts.
It felt like whatever was happening, like the era, like it was over. That was
our podcast episode. Our podcast episode was "It's So Over." That was.
I think we had Rock Bottom Part 4 published on the website. Like, that was not great. That was not great. I do apologize. I went black there for a sec.
Yeah. It's okay,
I got a massive fire hazard behind me with all these cords. But to answer the beer question before we move on here, and I think we're about 10 minutes away from the second half starting or something like that.
Yeah.
The Sips of Sunshine from Lawson's. It was brewery recommended to me by a bartender here in New York. They're out of Vermont. This is delicious. This IPA is delicious. This is fucking unbelievable. Like I'm so glad I found this one.
First of all, I just do have to say Nick Saban, unbelievable tie out of him today. CJ, best drink in Blacksburg, and then Jackson, best drinking hole in Annapolis, Maryland. CJ,
best drink in Blacksburg.
Give me an underrated one though. Don't say like Rail. Don't say like Long Island iced tea.
No, well, I was gonna say Long Island, but I usually just drank Red Bull vodka. That's literally what I drank all the time. I didn't really. I wasn't a big specialty. I did get the Long Island. Unpopular opinion. I had the Rail. I had two Rails one time. I didn't have them again. So I think I've only had two in my career, and they put me on my back, and
I'll put you down.
I swear those are the only two I had in my college career, but I don't have like a specialty drink. I was a Red Bull vodka, vodka Red Bull, however you like to say it. RBV.
I'll own it. In college, yes, I drank a lot of beer at the pregame, but when I was out, I kind of drank like a white chick, like a lot of cranberry vodka, a lot of RBVs, like
lemon drops.
Like lemon drops, green tea shots.
Yeah.
What was the other one? The trash can at Big Al's was really good. Like, that's going to get clipped and taken out of context here. I enjoyed my Busch Light and my Miller Light and all of that. But when I went out, it was very much like white chicks drinks.
100%.
Jackson, what about you? What is the best drinking hole in Annapolis?
I got 2. Heroes.
What's
They
it called?
got good hero. It's called Heroes.
Heroes.
Yeah, they got good cold Budweiser there, and then
Good cold Budweiser. I can't imagine that's hard to come by in the United States.
and then I mean the obvious one is Acme.
Yeah, the me.
Acme. That's the one for us. Stan and Joe's is a good one, and then I loved Ram's Head, and also I loved Davis. Cold.
So you said you were giving me
all
2.
those
You gave me
places.
about 6.
Well, I lived there, dude. Like
That is true. That is true. CJ, did you have Sam, did you have any other questions? I'll be honest, it's the first half. I have finished a bottle of wine, so I have cut
Well,
myself.
don't break the bottle of wine.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Giuliano.
You should
infamously
see
tough to clean up.
You should see the 2 laser eyes that I'm getting from the left.
I got a
side.
question.
Go ahead, bro.
What's up, Jackson?
What was Juliana's favorite drinking hole in Blacksburg?
Jay, I'm going to pass you the mic. What was your favorite place to drink in Blacksburg?
It was Tots, and it was always a Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead from Tots. So basically like a JV version of the rail.
Why you gotta?
No, a better tasting version of the rail.
That it is a better tasting version. You just heard me say that I had no problem with drinking like a white girl in Blacksburg. So that wasn't a backhanded comment whatsoever.
I did a lot of like my friend group was big on get to Hokie House early for the happy hour, get a little table in the corner, get a dartboard going, maybe a game of billiards. And you would do like the doubles were like $5 when I was a junior and senior. And you would just do double rum and Coke, double vodka soda, double and you just hammer that and then you're good. You're solid.
Two things, the 3 things this is taking me back to. Best memory of my life from Hokie House in college was the West Virginia game. I had medically DQ'd at that point. That game, I watched that game at Hokie House. That was unbelievable. Number 2, 90s night at Hokie House. Unbelievable. Like all-time good time. And number 3, CJ, I've thought about this a couple of times. It's like that, who did you think you were moment of college? I don't know what about it made me think that I was like the man.
Yeah.
But some of those moments were at Hokie House being like, you know, it would be really cool. I'm going to go get a Jazz wood tip black and mild over at 7-Eleven. I'm going to smoke it at Hokie House. And I'm going to be the coolest guy ever. And I probably didn't look like the coolest guy ever, but damn if I didn't feel like it when I was at Hokie House.
What's up?
Jazz black and mild. Dude.
Black and mild for elite. I'm not gonna lie. That was the only thing I ever smoked. Black and mild. Not that I smoked them a lot. I didn't, but like
no, but it was almost like a novelty. It was kind of like finding
I'll tell you
Pokemon
something.
Go when you find a Pikachu on Pokemon Go. That's kind of what it was like.
Something even more unhealthy from 7-Eleven is
more unhealthy. Oh, okay.
Yeah. My friends and I had a good friend of mine who lived on Center for 2 years, and we would travel back to Center and get some 7-Eleven taquitos. And those are for sure worse for you than a black and mild.
So good.
Okay.
Those are so
Royal
good.
Farms fried chicken is pretty bad for you.
Royal Farms fried chicken. I'll tell you what, if you're doing the drive from anywhere in Virginia, if you go up Eastern Shore to get up here in New York, Royal Farms is everywhere. There's more salt in that chicken
A lot of Rofo.
than in the Dead Sea in Israel. It is unbelievable.
That's pretty funny.
Salt Lake City and Blacksburg. I know we're coming up on the start of the second half, but Jackson, let's end it this way. What are y'all most excited about in 2026? What goals do we have? What are we most excited about coming up in
You want me to
2026? I did say Jackson.
All right, so Navy going undefeated and winning the national championship, and also I want to say a fella that I did not directly coach, but that was a part of the team that I coached for when I was down here in Florida. Caden Hall at Florida.
Let's go.
He early enrolled over there. DJ Lagway just transferred out. Caden Hall, he was a safety recruit. He played quarterback for us at Milton, and he wasn't a pocket passer. Like, obviously, he was not a pocket passer, but you'll be hard pressed to find a better teammate than Caden Hall and he's now going to be playing at Florida, and he'll kill it. He'll kill it.
Sounds like you need to be getting some tickets to Florida, and you and me need to be going to Gainesburg this year.
Be out of here in a couple of months. You know
Florida
that
game, Billy Ray. That'd be great.
Yeah, I can't. I'll tell you what. I'll never forget this, Jackson. Jackson trying to gift Mayhul shorts at the Florida State game was unbelievable. CJ, what are your New Year's resolutions, man? What are you most excited for in 2026?
Not New Year's resolutions, but most excited. James Franklin to lead us to the national championship, and Jeff Hafley, new Miami Dolphins.
Dude, I forgot. How did we wait until this long? How do you feel about that?
It's a boring hire.
I'd say.
But I don't know. It's very boring, but I'm not going to knock it until I don't know. He's leading us to the playoffs. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Jeff Hafley, Coach of the Year, James Franklin, Coach of the Year. Both my teams are finally back.
CJ, I am going to call you on the phone in the next 24 hours. We are due for a catch up.
Yeah.
We're going to figure out what game we're going to go to this year. And the Hollywood rumors got to stop, because I don't feel Hollywood, but obviously on this segment, I've been exposed a little bit. I got to be better, and I will be better. And Jackson, I have paid you my share of the T-Mobile bill, so we should be all squared away on that. And
well,
I'll be better on the pickup.
I got one more thing I'm excited to see. Well, two more. Virginia Tech, yes. I should have said that because I'm on a Virginia Tech podcast. My offensive line coach at Navy is now the head coach at Virginia Military Institute.
Yes. We're playing against them in week 1.
Coach Ashley Ingram.
Yes.
And I love that dude. That man, I'll take a bullet for him today.
You don't have to do that, but yeah.
I'll take two for him today.
Yep.
All right. I hope that his team shows up week 1.
I don't.
Like physically is in Blacksburg.
I hope they're there.
And is ready to roll. And I hope I hope that that's a hell of a game.
I don't
pick a winner.
I don't hope it's a game, but I wish him all the best in all 11 other games.
The VMI is lucky to have Coach Ingram.
I am happy to hear it, and you will be on the VMI preview. CJ Carroll, love you, bro. Good to see you. Jackson, love you, bro. Good to see you. Appreciate y'all joining us, and we'll catch up soon. JLM will be in Blacksburg. Jackson, can we get you in Blacksburg for a game this year, please?
You know my situation. It's a little dynamic, okay? It's a little dynamic.
A little dynamic is crazy.
Okay.
Jackson, you gotta.
I'm trying to think. When's the next time can I see my wife? Much less the Virginia Tech football guy. All right.
On that note, guys, have a good night.
See you guys. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Jackson,
We'll talk soon.
See you, bro.
See ya.
Thank you for having us, Frankie. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing all right.